This video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 manifestation techniques you may have never heard of before. These are the most powerful techniques that I've personally applied in my own life, and I'm going to share them with you right now. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you those 3 manifestation techniques that have changed my life, and also ones that in a way go beyond just the law of attraction. Normally the law of attraction, we're focused on the realm of understanding our own thoughts, and our thoughts create our reality. If you change what you're thinking, you'll attract something new into your life. Well, there's many different energy dynamics that come into play, and when you infuse in the understandings of what I share in this video, it changes everything. And I look to my own success on YouTube to where I'm at right now. By the way, I'm at this really cool Airbnb. You can kind of see you kind of hear the ocean, and it's pretty cool here right now. And I live in more abundance than I've ever lived before, and I believe it's because I continue to do and apply the techniques that I share in this video. Now, at the surface level, the law of attraction is our thoughts create our reality. When you change your thoughts, you change your life. But even deeper than just the thoughts we think is our beliefs about who we are, our beliefs about how reality works. You see, there's like this chart that I've made before where I show the different levels. You have beliefs, which then generate feelings, which then stem thoughts, which then have actions, which then gets results, which then goes back to beliefs. So it's like this circle with this arrow that goes to each individual one. Now, what a lot of people do is they try to change at the thought level, but thoughts are too in. You have beliefs and then feelings. And when you're in a certain feeling, you then think thoughts close to your feeling. Now, that's one of the reasons Tony Robbins does a lot of work with change your state. If you change your state, you change your life. Well, your state is how you feel. So if you change how you feel, you then have a new set of thoughts. It's almost like the reality that you will experience will be within a certain bandwidth of vibration. And when you're in a certain feeling, you then have access to certain thoughts that are equal to those feelings. So it's almost easier to think certain thoughts. So if you change how you feel, you get a certain result. Now, the thing that I want to talk about as the first technique, and it has to do with understanding twofold process. It's about understanding your self-image. How do you see yourself? Because your self-image is a cybernetic mechanism, meaning that however you see yourself, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, however you see yourself is what you will act, think, and feel consistent to without even knowing it. Now, that's exactly what I focused on when I started to get amazing results in reality. Even before becoming a full-time YouTuber, I was learning about this concept. I read the book called Psycho-Cybernetics, which is from a doctor that noticed that when people would go through plastic surgery or some type of surgery that would change their body, many times they wouldn't actually feel any happier. The only time that changes when they change their self-image, regardless of whether they looked in the mirror and looked different. So this cybernetic mechanism is about understanding however we see ourselves, we will act, feel, and do things consistent to that self-image. Now, when I was working at Nordstrom's and Women's Shoes, I became aware of this, and I realized that I saw myself as a mediocre employee. I was going into work every day, and there was this chart that would come and that would be put like when we walk into work, and we look at like the schedule, or we walk to where we put our cubby, like our little cubbies where we put our stuff before we go on the sales floor. There'd be this chart, and this chart would have the top salespeople from the day before, everyone from the day before, but you'd be able to see who was at the top and who was at the bottom. I was always right in the middle. I saw myself as like a mediocre employee. I was in like the best department of salon shoes, designer shoes at Nordstrom's, and I was like, oh, I don't have to be the best because I'm the youngest person here and I make good money for my age, you know. I was like right out of high school. And I was a mediocre employee. Then I learned about cybernetics after, so this is after I learned about the law of attraction. So I was already getting great results with the law of attraction, but what took everything to the next level is I started to see myself as a top employee, as a top salesperson. Within days, I was at the top of that list, and it was natural. I was acting in a certain way. My behavior changed. The way I talked to people changed. The way I carried myself changed. People would ask me, they'd say, oh, why do you work here? You should be, they thought like I was I should have been doing something more than selling shoes. It was a different energy that I embodied. I more than filled my present space. And from Think and Grow Rich, that's what that's called. So your self-image is a powerful, in a way, technique, but in a way, a whole entire process. The first step is becoming aware of your self-image. And the second step is letting go of what doesn't serve, letting go of the parts of you that don't serve. And then thirdly, just wiring that new self-image. And for me, that was being in the frequency of a top salesperson. Now, here's another part of the self-image. Notice what is natural for that new self-image. It is natural for you. It was natural for that version of me to be a top salesperson. If it was on a pedestal, it'd be very, very important. I would vibrationally separate myself from it. So the key to that was understanding that it was natural for me. Important. How important was it? It was natural. So when you imagine this version of you, when I imagined even the version of me when I went from working at Barney's New York selling women's shoes into being a full-time YouTuber, it was natural for me to imagine myself getting up, creating videos, being in cool, amazing places like this right here, being at this amazing Airbnb. As cocky as it sounds, this is natural for me because I am embodying this self-image. I'm somebody that puts out content that adds value, and I see myself as this is just natural for me. After this, I'll go to a part in Tamarindo, Costa Rica, which is also amazing. I already know what that Airbnb looks like because we stayed in a similar one in that apartment building. It's a very nice luxury loft. It's natural for me. Be traveling the world doing events. It's natural. If it were on a pedestal, I'd vibrationally be separate from it. So the thing that I recommend to you is to be aware of how can it be natural for you? How can it be not on a pedestal? How can it be just, you're good either way? You see? And then you have more of a balanced vibration about it. The version of you that's doing amazing things in reality, it's natural for them. It's not on a pedestal. There's not a whole bunch of resistance around it. So see what that is and wire that self-image in with your actions, your feelings, and your emotions, and your beliefs. What are the beliefs of that version of you? The beliefs of the version of me that travel the world, does what I love, is I believe I have to put out content to help people. I said, okay, when I was a full-time YouTube, or when I was at the job, 9-to-5 job, I was like, okay, well, I need to have the same belief. I need to make daily videos. You see, I need to line up my beliefs to that version of me. So self-image and importance, that's the first technique. The second technique is a technique that I have seen amazing results with, not only in my own life, but in other people's lives as well. It's walking into a parallel reality. Walking into a parallel reality. Now, first off, the first self-image / importance technique I'm talking about, there's a meditation I'm going to link below. And this meditation is on changing your self-image. It's the most powerful meditation for changing your self-image. I've had a lot of people tell me amazing things about it. It's completely free. Listen to it for 21 days and watch your life change. 21 days is what it takes for us to change the momentum, the pattern that we have. So I recommend that you listen to that one. Now for the second one, second technique, it's walking into a parallel reality. When I first made this meditation, it's also a meditation that I had no idea the kind of results that people would come back with, kind of testimonials. And for either of these meditations that I'll be sharing, you can go look at the comments to see what's possible. Don't take my word for it. Go see, because then as you see, it also increases your belief that it can work for you as well. So walking into a parallel reality. Now the parallel reality version of you that you can imagine already exists. And if you simply mirror the actions, the thoughts, the emotions of that version of you, it's easier for you to then walk into that reality, for you to realize it's just natural, it's just who you are. Think about it in terms of vibrational resonance. When you look at that of a radio station or a radio tuner, you tune it to a certain frequency, it then picks up on a certain frequency that then it receives. Now, the radio signals, all the radio channels already exist. The radio tuner just tunes to that frequency. Now, in the same way, what we can do is realize that the reality we want to experience already exists. So once again, you don't have to put it on a pedestal, but then looking at it, you can then realize you can let go of your old identity, your old story, and you can then walk into this new reality. You can then be this new version of you. And what you'll see is the most powerful meditation for shift to a parallel reality, which we're already doing. We're naturally shifting because that's the way reality works. That's what movement is, the shifting through different parallel realities. We have memory that ties them all together. What this allows us to do is to know we're always new. Every moment is new. Every moment is new. Every moment is new. Do I want to continue to create the old experience? Do I want to continue to create the old experience? Because every moment is new. It allows us to change our story. Now let me tell you how powerful this is. Now, I'm not saying this to brag or anything. This is the, you know, when I make these meditations, it's almost like it just flows through me. So I'm not saying it's ego Aaron that did this. But I had somebody who went to, so my buddy Victor, he does these retreats. He's a YouTuber as well. He does these retreats in Sedona and Vegas. And when he did this one retreat, there was somebody that went, and I was going to speak at that retreat, and I did. And she heard I was going to speak at that retreat. So she said that what happened is she decided to go to this retreat for the chance that she could actually meet me, because she wanted to thank me, because when I went to this retreat, I gave this talk. She came in, she was wearing crutches. She told me that she was in a car accident and was told by doctors she would never walk again. She would never walk again. That what she had was permanent and she shouldn't even really try. This is something that doctors do a lot for some reason. They like to implant these beliefs into people. And she then was told she never walk again. Well, what she did is she listened to the meditation that was on, said this meditation will shift you to a parallel reality, which is the meditation I'll link below. And that meditation, it was one where she, in part of the visualization, you walk into a parallel reality. You walk through a door to where then you're in a new reality. And she said that when she did that meditation, and because of that meditation, she was then able to start walking. Think about that. She has a certain type of car accident, or a car accident to where she broke something to where she's not supposed to be able to walk again. That's what doctors told her. She listens to a meditation and then is able to walk again. Mind you, she's using crutches, but she's still walking. And she goes to this thing because she just wants to tell me thank you, even though it wasn't really me, it was just the meditation that did it. She did it herself. But nonetheless, that's how powerful meditation can be. She literally picked a parallel reality version of her that could walk, and she dropped the story of the old identity, which is what the meditation does, and then she's walking in a new parallel reality. That's how powerful that is. So that's the second technique that I recommend you do for 21 days. Watch how your life begins to change. If it can do that, then it can do something else that you would want it to do, whether that be abundance, love in a relationship, anything. Now, the third technique I want to share with you is an archetype meditation. This is a little bit more esoteric, but nonetheless, it's very powerful. Now, archetype meditation. Now, I have a buddy, he's actually my assistant, his name is Austin, and he told me about this book that he read that had to do with archetypes. And what he did is he did this certain meditation where what he would do is he would bring through energy. Now, an archetype is like an energy structure in our collective consciousness. It's like a character profile in a way. Now, we have that of archetypes around many different things. If you look at the tarot cards, they're all different archetypes. We have the archetype of a mother, archetype of the hero, a victim, the archetype of the fool, the joker, the king, the queen. We have the archetype of the magician. These are all different archetypes that exist within our collective consciousness. Now, what Austin did is he recognized that there was an archetype he wanted to be more confident. So what he did is he meditated, and he brought in the energy of Conor McGregor, who's a UFC fighter, now retired. But he's a very confident person. So what he did is he started to bring in through meditation the archetype, because, you know, we're all connected, the archetype of Conor McGregor, and he started to feel more confident. He said that he started doing this meditation. It went so far as to he started to actually have also, he said his muscles changed, his back started to look bigger. Even though he wasn't really doing much different other than that meditation, he started to carry himself differently. He started to walk differently. That all came from the archetypes and literally channeling different archetypes. And we all are connected. That's why we can connect to these archetypes. So an archetype meditation is where you recognize what you want to bring more of in your life. Maybe it's to become a magician, to bring more magic into your life. Maybe it's to be the hero. Maybe you find that you're being the cameo in everyone else's movie. Maybe it's because you want to be the king instead of a child. Maybe you feel like you're embodying more of a child. Well, you do that. You get into meditation, and what you do is you bring through that energy, and you allow yourself to feel in that state. And what you do is you bring through and you imagine how that version of you that would embody that archetype thinks, feels, and acts. Having the same thoughts as that version of you. If it were the magician, it'd be like, how would I think as the magician? How would I feel as the magician? What beliefs would I have as the magician? What kind of behavior would I have as the magician? And as you begin to feel into it, you begin to bring in the characteristics, the identity of that version of you. So that's something that you can do as well. That's called an archetype meditation. I'm going to be, like this video, if you would like me to make an archetype meditation, I was thinking on the magician. Like this video, comment below if you'd like me to make that meditation, and I will. And I think it'd be very interesting. But nonetheless, these 3 manifestation techniques have absolutely transformed my life, changing my self-image. That's how I got to become a full-time YouTuber. Not making things so important, making things natural has allowed me to be in the reality I currently am, traveling the world, doing what I love, eating at amazing restaurants. I say this not to brag. I believe you can do it too. You just have to focus on changing your self-image. The meditation below on changing your self-image will help you to do it. List over 21 days. It will transform your life. Secondly, the parallel reality meditation. Let go of your own story. Realize you are new every moment. You are new every moment. You are new every moment. If it can work for somebody who is paralyzed, now able to walk, then it can work for you in whatever you want to do. And then thirdly, recognize that the more you are able to... What was the third one again? One sec. Oh, archetype meditation. For a second I was like, what was it? That's why I was trying to like bleed out the little sentence there for a minute. And realize that when the archetype meditation, you allow it to flow through, and you will start to embody that version of you. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace, much love, and namaste.